to another episode of Throwing It Back with Sean Farrell. I am Sean Farrell. God is great all the time. All the time, God is great. Jesus Christ died and he rose again. Let's get into it. So, the Los Angeles Lakers, the 1983 Los Angeles Lakers, coming off their second championship, okay, of the 80s. And not only did they win their second championship over the Philadelphia 76ers, they also got rewarded. Okay. They got that reward in 1980 when they traded a guy named Don Ford. Okay. They traded him to the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think midway through the 1980-81 season, I believe. Okay. So they traded him to the Cleveland Cavaliers, I believe. And they ended up with a future one. Okay. Ended up with the future one. And they had a tough choice between either James Worthy or Dominique Wilkins. Okay. And they ended up taking James Worthy. Okay. So that proved to be a excellent choice. I don't think you could have gone wrong with Dominique Wilkins either, because he went to Utah. Then he was traded to Atlanta for John Drew. Okay. So Lakers come off winning the title. They draft Big Game James. Okay. And so now you're looking at a team with Magic, Kareem, Jamal Wilkes, Norm Nixon, Worthy, Rambis, Bob McAdoo. Okay. So you were stacked. Okay. The Lakers were stacked. All right. And then they also had Eddie Jordan too. Okay. Yeah. Future NBA coach, Eddie Jordan, who was probably like the Troy Health man down on the bench. But anyway, yeah, they were stacked. Okay. They were stacked and finished with the best record in the West. And but as the season drew to a close, the injury bug really bit the Lakers. The injury bug, it just bit the Lakers like a poisonous snake. Okay. By the way, that dunk that you saw Julius Erving, that famous dunk that you saw Julius Erving, I think Chick Hearn said it, Ray rocked the baby to sleep and slam dunk or something like that. That dunk actually occurred in a regular season game, okay, against the Lakers when he dunked over Michael Cooper, okay. That dunk occurred in a regular season game because James Worthy threw the pass that Dr. J intercepted and did the over Michael Cooper. So I know that happened in a regular season game because it was late in the season when James Worthy tipped the ball in, then came down on his leg awkwardly, and he fractured his leg. Okay, so James Worthy fractured his leg late in the season, and he didn't play the entire postseason. Okay, so James Worthy was done late in the year with a fractured leg. Okay, then Kurt Rambis was hobbled. He'll play, but Kurt Rambis was hobbled. Okay. And then in the playoffs, Bob McAdoo got hurt. Bob McAdoo got hurt in the conference finals versus the Spurs. Okay. And then when they made it back to the NBA finals versus the Philadelphia 76ers, okay, Norm Nixon was dealing with a separated shoulder. Yeah, James Worthy fractures his leg. Kurt Rambis is playing hurt. Bob McAdoo gets injured versus the Spurs in the conference finals. Um, then Norm Nixon is dealing with a shoulder separation in the NBA finals. Okay, so basically the load fell on Kareem, Magic, and Cooper, and Rambis, who was playing hurt. Who was playing hurt later in the season, and without James Worthy, without Bob McAdoo, without a healthy Norm Nixon, without a healthy Kurt Rambis, it all added up to the 4-game sweep in the NBA Finals. You remember when the media asked Moses Malone how the Sixers would do in the playoffs, and Moses Malone went here like, "Fo, fo, fo." Fo, fo, fo. Yeah, they ended up sweeping the Knicks. They ended up sweeping the Knicks. They ended up sweeping the Bucks, and they ended up sweeping the Lakers in the NBA Finals. Okay, um, so all those injuries for the Lakers added up to a 4-game sweep of the Philadelphia 76ers. Which begs the question: if Worthy had not fractured his leg, if Rambis wasn't playing hobbled, if Bob McAdoo didn't get injured, and if Norm Nixon wasn't limited by a shoulder separation, could the Lakers beat the 76ers in the 1983 NBA Finals? I think that is a real possibility. I think that was a real possibility. And I think it was the case where Philadelphia was probably just a better team in 1983. But you gotta ask the question. If Worthy, Nixon, Rambis, and McAdoo had been healthy, would it be a 4-game sweep? Probably not. The series probably would have gone 7. The Sixers probably still would have won. Okay, but I think injuries robbed the Lakers in 1983 of defeating the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, again, the 76ers were probably just a better team that year. Okay, so they probably would have won the championship anyway, but we'll never know. We will never know. All right, that's it. And that's all for Throwing It Back with Sean Farrell. I am out of here. Hey, God bless you all. Peace.